Whoa, look at that. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back again. I'm all like covering up the logo here. Yesterday, I was using the Storm Saga Games logo, and today I got the Bandwidth and Banter on Bandwidth and Banter. What do you know?
Look at that.
Oh, my goodness. It's good to be back. It seems like it's been a day.
I know.
But it's actually been a week
hours?
since our last regular B&B where we had the amazing Never Tilted as our returning guest. It was so cool of Never Tilty to join us short notice, and
Yes.
Man, it was a great stream and
So good.
great guy. Your twin,
My twin.
right? And so we're on episode, is this 89 today?
I think,
90.
No, I think this is 90.
God, episode 90. That's amazing.
Episode
And
90?
Speaking of twin, who we have on today on episode 90 is your other Twitch big bro, right? Yeah. Your other Twitch big bro, Havoc RPG. Can't wait. Let's jump right into the interview. Here he is.
I'm so excited.
Havoc, please reintroduce yourself and share something about your stream that you want to highlight for the audience.
Hi everyone, I am Havoc RPG. I would say that if you want to just watch just straight D&D like it would be if you played in your house, I'm the stream for you because people show up late, they don't bring me snacks. It's horrible. It's wonderful.
It's horrible.
Right?
How dare they not bring me snacks?
We have a good time, and that's really all we're looking to do. So if you want to have a good time, laugh with us, come check us out. As far as something about me, I'll let you guys ask questions. I'm not volunteering anything.
Fair enough.
But I will say, you could ask me just about anything.
Okay.
I have no shame.
No worries. Our questions are fun and lighthearted, but we have quite a few of them. So let's jump into it. Druid, you get to kick us off this time.
I do. I'm spoiled. Hey, big bro.
Hi, little sis. How are you?
Good, how are you? Please share a boring fact about yourself.
A boring fact about myself. Oh. I don't think boring. I hate driving.
I love it.
I really don't like driving in traffic. That's one of the reasons I left New York City.
That is a fitting one for two reasons. One, because it really is a boring fact, but interesting boring. And because you have that in common with that little one right there. She literally doesn't drive. Not only does she hate driving, she
No,
doesn't.
I don't think I could survive without driving. I've lived in different places, and living in Florida, you had to drive. The nearest store was 4 miles away, and I wasn't that into health.
Well said.
I can have most things delivered, so it really works out.
Well, how did you handle it? Well, this is for another time, Druid. But how did you handle it before pandemic when not everything was deliverable? But anyway,
I walked.
I know you did.
I had my Lamborghinis.
Yeah. All right. Your Lamborghinis. Oh my God, I can't believe. I've never heard that before. That's some funny shit right there.
I straight stole that from something else. I have no idea who I stole it from, but it's
perfect.
I know.
So Havoc, how did you pick your Twitch name and what was the inspiration?
So the name Havoc goes back to the 90s, early 90s. It was actually a character that I was playing. I had drawn a picture of a character. And I was like, I want to play this character. This is a concept. I told one of my DMs, and he was like, well, I'm getting ready to start Menzo Berrazan. I was like, well, he's an elf. He's like, yeah, make him a dark elf. I'm like, all right. Okay, fine. So I made this character into a dark elf, and I played it for a few years. And then, I don't know if you guys remember EverQuest.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Heard of it.
I played EverQuest. So I ended up playing EverQuest. I was we beta tested it and we played on there, and then I played it for years. I actually had a guild on one of the roleplay servers, but I made Havoc in the game. The thing is, they wouldn't let me have 1A, so that's why there's 2. But it's stuck. So in almost every game I've played Havoc at one stage or another. I played it in Star Wars Galaxy, Star Wars, it's just the name that stuck. So when I decided to start streaming, it just seemed to fit.
That is amazing.
Perfect. Okay.
What D&D class do you consider yourself to be in real life?
So that would be my other favorite character. I would probably be like a rogue or arcane trickster. If you go in 5e, the character is actually made in 2nd edition, so it would be like rogue mage.
Nice combo.
Multi-class.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I finally.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Drew.
I was just gonna say I finally given in and accept that I am a druid in real life.
Well,
when did this happen? You and I are gonna have to have a chat.
Literally yesterday, actually.
Ooh, okay. All right.
It's kind of in your name, though.
I've been fighting it and finally I just accept.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can be multi-class. You don't have to be just a druid.
I'll be a barbarian druid. Inky still.
There you go. Yeah. Multi-class. It's wonderful.
Exactly. So, and on that note, it suits you, I think. I mean, I don't necessarily know if you're like roguish and like to, steal things, but
no, it's more the
Mm-hmm.
swashbuckler type of attitude.
Mm-hmm.
So that character was very loud, very like talkative, and he was more into charming people out of their money than stealing it from them. And he had magic to cheat. So,
gotcha.
Beautiful.
Well, and see the way I sort of, interpret and envision that question is, what sort of D&D class do you think you are IRL? I've always kind of conceptualized that the wizards of our world are, tech. Tech is the magic of this world. And so since you were in IT, I think you had shared with us before, chat, it suits you. You technically are a wizard of this world. And
I used to have the sign on my door.
You're a wizard, Havoc.
No, it said my name, and then it said wizard.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I love it so much.
All right. So on the same topic, please tell us about your favorite D&D character that you created a little bit more. I mean, obviously you just shared a couple, and your favorite NPC you've created.
Okay, so honestly, I've been playing D&D for a long, long time, and I can probably count on 10 fingers all my characters. Like, I don't make multiple characters. I reused Havoc. I mentioned that.
Yeah.
My favorite character was probably Giles Spry. That was the rogue mage, and he was an elf, wood elf, archer, just a fun character to play. So I would say him. Another one I like would be, like, coming in with those top 3 would be Rook. I made Rook recently. He was a Dragonborn Paladin. And I played that on a stream, actually. I was guesting on a stream and I played him. So I really like Rook, too. As far as NPCs, all my characters end up NPCs in a game. So do my players' characters. So if you played a game and played in one of my games, you have probably become an NPC in my world. But I would say most recent likable NPC is Scribble. Scribble is Scribble. Okay. Scribble is basically a goblin scribe, and I don't know if anybody's ever played Dungeons and Mad Mage. There's a room where all the goblins are scribes, but they're goblins, so they're not exactly like, they draw like little stick figures and they give you like a piece of paper and like, here's your ID. Make sure you show it when you get to like checkpoints. So Scribble was like one of the most gifted of the scribes. So he was a little bit, he was quiet, but he was gifted. So, and the party fell in love with him. So now he's actually a character hook, because in the party he's missing. So that same party that met him are looking for him.
That's awesome. That's epic.
They better, because I love him now. And I hope they find him.
I kind of hope they find him too, because I have a player that she says that all I do is traumatize her. And I'm like, no, that's you. We had this argument yesterday. She's like, I need more trauma. Like, no, I'm not traumatizing you. You keep walking into situations. So if she's in love with him. She's a goblin too. So if something happens to Scribble, I think they might mutiny. I might have to find new players.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh. Well, is this live streamed? Because I need to know.
All my games now are streamed.
Okay, cool. Because I'll have to.
If I play D&D, it's on the stream somewhere. So my real life group, they keep wanting to get together, but I was telling you guys before we started, I haven't played like face to face, seriously face to face since COVID.
Wow.
We've tried a couple of games. I didn't DM them, so they didn't last too long. And I'm not saying that because I'm a great DM or anything. It's because if I say I'm going to DM a campaign, I will play it until you guys are done with it. Like, that's my commitment as a DM. You're going to get to the end. It's up to you if you want to stick it out. So
I feel you. You and I have that in common.
Love it. Love it. Which edition of D&D did you start with, and which one is your favorite?
So I started with first edition. No. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. It wasn't called first.
I mean, right?
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. So I started with that one, and what happened was we were young, we were dumb kids learning how to play, so we played that one, Red Box, and kind of mixed between the expert set and the rules for all things because it was kind of convoluted, and we weren't smart enough to realize they made two different games, and we were trying to mix them together. When I seriously became a DM, it was second edition. So there was a lot of things happening during second edition. In the Forgotten Realms, it was the time of troubles. There's a lot of books out, and it was like, this is the perfect time. So that's when I became serious. So it would be second edition.
Right on. And that's also your favorite?
That is my favorite.
Nice.
Two people in a row. I feel like I need to learn about second edition now.
Yeah.
Second edition was a lot of number crunch. I appreciate what they did with fifth edition as far as making the game a lot easier to pick up and play. But there's still like a lot of fond memories in second edition.
Can I do a follow-up question?
No.
Do you have a... Okay.
No, go ahead.
That's our first time one of our guests told her no. I love it.
Do you have a favorite TTRPG that's outside of D&D?
So I am like a Dungeons and Dragons, WotC, TSR, like faithful. I have played other ones. If I had to pick a favorite outside, I would have to say, only because I played it recently, it was Fantasy Flight Star Wars RPG. I DM'd that.
Nice.
So I like the system. The dice is a little confusing. What I liked about the system was it put a lot more agency on the players to say what was going on. It wasn't just the DM. Problem is, if you play with a lot of people who played 5e, they're waiting for the DM to say something. No, you tell me. Like, what happened? So I liked the system, but it was hard to get people past it.
I understand. Right on. Thank you for adding that great question, Druid, and for that great answer.
You're welcome.
Because I was curious about that too. Hopefully you didn't spoiler one of the questions from later. I don't remember, but that's okay if you did. Number 6. I don't know why I just said the number of the question, but Havoc, please tell us what was in the gray box.
Ooh, the gray box. So the gray box is the original Forgotten Realms box set. So back in the day, they would put everything in boxes. It wasn't just books. So you would get a box and it had a couple of manuals. It would tell you about like areas, cities, notable people. There would be a bunch of maps. And they would put all a box set with a nice, really ugly set of plastic dice, but whatever. And the gray box was the Forgotten Realms. That was the first one. So it was released, I think, in like 89, 88, 87, somewhere around there, late 80s. And it was the first box that I picked up, and I was like, yep, I want a DM. Because it had like coins and like the names of coins and how it was just so much detail that you didn't get from like the regular game books that were just the rules. This was lore. And that's when I realized I liked the lore. It's also why I fell in love with the Forgotten Realms. A couple of years later, they released the adventure book, which turned everything to second edition. So my first D&D campaign was the Changing, was the Time of Troubles. I basically DM'd the change from first edition to second edition.
Gotcha. Very cool. We were chatting with Razzmatazz last night just about this, and I too started back in the day with the BX set and into AD&D, and didn't realize, just like you guys, that they were technically two different games, right? From basic to expert with advanced, and so we were trying to mix and match everything, but it worked. Eventually, we figured it out, and I fell in love with Greyhawk at that time because I started in 1981, and Faerun. I don't even think it existed at that time, or at least if it did, it was in infancy, and then came or in someone's mind somewhere. But
actually, the first Forgotten Realms story was in Dragon magazine. I think it was in 86, 85. It was still very early. Ed Greenwood was already writing stories.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's great. That's exactly. Don't apologize for sharing a cool detail. I mean, yeah, 86, man. I think I was 17. Wow. Long time ago. So thank you for sharing about the gray box, because it's in your about section, and I saw that and I was like, I gotta ask that. I gotta ask about that.
Yeah, and actually the date that I use is Dale Reckoning. So it says 1487. I don't even remember the exact date right now. But that's the date that was given in the box set. So that was the date that they started. So if you pick up like most Forgotten Realms books or whatever, they'll mention the Dale Reckoning. So like Current Reckoning, I think they're into, I'm sorry, it was 1389. But like currently they're in like 14 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So that was the date that was in the book. And it like stuck with me.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's so fun. So what drew you to Twitch?
So I was telling you before, my friend Rob, he was really big on doing, he had a thing called All Things Fantasy Grounds. They basically reviewed the extensions and Fantasy Grounds and taught people how to play. Because if you ever played Fantasy Grounds, in the beginning it was really like difficult to pick up on certain stuff, especially with the coding. So they would help you. And I had a friend that was friends with him, and he was like, "Oh, we're looking for ideas for interviews." So he interviewed me because I used Fantasy Grounds for my face-to-face game. Mm-hmm. I was like 9 years old. So that was the first time I made a Twitch account, because I had to go on a show, and I was like, hey, all right, fine, no problem, I'll come on. And afterwards, it was basically, I had the account, we talked about it, it was like, oh, you should stream your games. I'm like, I don't know about that. And then my daughter asked me. My daughter she's in one of my games, she's like, you should stream the game. You should be on Twitch. And I was like, all right, I guess. Well, all right, we could try it. And that was it. And we've been doing it since.
Wow, that's amazing. So your daughter was what got you into Twitch effectively?
Yes, my daughter was the one. She wanted to stream games, and she was too young to do it, so she made me do it. And here I am.
That is awesome.
Yes,
that's a great.
I will do anything for my kid.
That's so cute.
That's a great story. Oh, melted all of our hearts, dude. Well, on this topic then, what did family and friends think when you told them you planned on streaming?
So it's funny because most of my family doesn't know. My brother knows, and he comes on. And my brother, he's younger than me, but he's never played Dungeons & Dragons, so he thinks it's silly. Like he can't stand it. He doesn't get it, and I don't care. It's like his own thing. So. Sure. He's watched one stream, I think. He's been on one time, came and checked it out, but that was it. My older sister, who I'm really close with, she's very supportive, but she has no idea what I'm talking about. She's like, that's great. She's like, where are you again? Don't worry about it. So she hasn't seen the stream either. No, and my daughters, my kids, they love it. They think it's great. So It's something that even when they're not here, because they live with their parent, their mom. I was gonna say their parents. I'm the other parent,
Yeah.
but they live with their parent, and when they're there, they can hang out with me and watch the stream. So they think it's fun.
It's so cute. I love that so much. My heart's so full. What struggles did you deal with when you first started streaming?
So I had to get over a few things. One, I don't like being on camera. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't like being on camera. So I don't even like taking pictures. Like most people who know me growing up, they would have to sneak a picture because if they went to take a picture, I would do stuff like turn away. So I have dozens of pictures of me where it's just like half my face or my head is pulled down over my head. So yeah, I don't like taking pictures. So being on camera was a big struggle for me, and also hearing my voice. I can't. That's probably why I don't have more content and shorts and stuff, because I can't go in and listen to it and make the editing, because like after a while I'm like, I can't. That's it. That's enough. I can't listen to myself. So those are like my two big struggles. As far as the tech and stuff, most of it was kind of. I had a lot of supportive people who knew this stuff and helped me out. And I pick up on things fairly quickly. But no, it was those two: the cameras and the voices. That things that make you a streamer.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Like I think he might be our first guest in 90 guests who that was the first thing that they said was their issue was the camera. I mean, we've had some that did have to get over some stuff to start, but it's I applaud you that you have obviously conquered that to a certain degree anyway. And and you're great at it. So please keep it up. Next question. What tips can you share with future streamers?
If you're going to do it, just do it. Like, don't think about too much. Just do it. And be consistent. Like those are the two things I find that like really like, I mean, once you start doing it, I fell in love with it. Like I liked it. I like the attention. Like I like people coming to watch the stream. I like people laughing and having a good time. So it makes me feel good. But it's a lot easier when everybody knows when you're going to be streaming. So if you're saying you're going to stream on a certain day, try to do those days and be consistent. Like that's the biggest advice. And just keep at it. Don't worry about it. You meet wonderful people like you guys, and things just keep going in the right direction as long as you keep at it.
Consistency. I think that's what I've been saying to a lot of people lately too, is you just gotta pick a day, pick time, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
I think the time is more important than anything else, I think.
Treating it like at least for that time frame, it's almost like a job, but don't necessarily think of it that way in your head because you know how that goes. But think of it, you have the same level of commitment as if it were a job, or at least for that time frame,
Yeah, I just want to answer. I do not try to kill you, Rhino. Okay, go ahead. One of my players is in chat and it's like he gets mad at me. I'm not trying. I never try to kill you. You're just unlucky.
Wow. Yeah. He's already spoiled one of our questions too, I think. That's all right.
We're gonna ask it anyway. I don't care. What do you enjoy most about streaming?
Well, like I just said, I love the camaraderie. I love the people. I like, I like seeing the positive reactions and making new friends. I am very sociable as a person. You wouldn't know because I seem quiet, but like people who have met me in real life laugh at me because they say on stream I'm actually quieter than I am in real life. Like I think I'm very held back and reserved on stream because you have to have a personality, and in real life I just don't care. So yeah, it's a culture shock to some people. They're like, I can't imagine you being more energetic. Oh my god, stop it. So I do. I like meeting people. I like talking with people. I like having fun. I like telling stories, and I like laughing. So all the interaction is great. It's what I like the most.
Yeah. Yep. That's so funny because I'm a little bit of the opposite-ish. It does depend on the area and where I'm at. But like I'm like I very loud and very obnoxious here. A little bit more reserved in public.
Teensy tiny bit more reserved in public. At least based upon the stories that you've told me. I've never actually experienced her in public, but
so mine comes from when we used to play EverQuest.
Mm.
So, you have an online personality and people are going to learn your name, especially, we were a high-end rating guild at roleplayed, so people hated us.
Mhm.
And then I was the leader of an evil guild, and I role played as an evil person, so people hated me.
Mhm.
But in real life, like, all right, whatever. But so you kept your reputation. Like, people hated my attitude, but they knew I would never jump them, steal, train, or any of those things. So they had respect for me, even though they hated me. So I always thought that that's how you have to be online. Like, you have to keep a level of respect and not do anything crazy. And in real life, it's like, I don't care. What comes out of my mouth sometimes shocks me.
That's her on stream for sure. I mean,
like I've had my kid look at me and go, "Dad, what? They can hear you."
I have to admit, Druid, sometimes that happens to me too. It must be you infecting me, corrupting me. But all right, next question, Havoc. So I think we're all going to be able to guess half of this question, but I still want to ask the whole question for you. What is your favorite world and least favorite world that you have streamed?
That I've streamed, I've only streamed Kryn and Faerun. So Forgotten Realms and Dragonlance. So between the two of them, my favorite is still Forgotten Realms.
Mm-hmm.
My least favorite.
I mean, if you want, we can adjust the question and just say, what is your favorite world you've DM'd and your least favorite world you've DM'd?
Right. Well, I'm answering like least favorite out of everything.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would have to say it would be Greyhawk.
Interesting.
And only because Greyhawk was one of the first systems worlds I learned, and it wasn't as clear to me in my youth.
I understand.
And then I fell in love with Forgotten Realms, and it was all she wrote. So I have tried other worlds, but Greyhawk never gained with me. So that would probably be my least favorite.
I can definitely see that. As an aficionado of Greyhawk, like early on, because it was kind of a hodgepodge mashed together pieces at first, and it took a while for it to be fully realized. And everything from, originally conceptualized by Gary Gygax and the other guy, I always forget his name, but like
Dave.
Yeah. The bottom line is that I can see that. Like Gary, I have a kind of a nostalgia for Greyhawk, but it definitely was like complex to wrap your head around when you're young and you just got started. But the thing about Faerun is it's got a very tight lore, right? It's very tightly wound and put together, and very, it's still just as detailed as Greyhawk. Maybe more, I don't know, I wouldn't say more so, but definitely just as detailed. But I think narratively, it's tighter, And I don't know, what are your thoughts?
So with Forgotten Realms, what happens is Ed Greenwood came in and he had details for a lot. Like he showed up with a truck.
Right.
And just started unloading boxes of files and like, here, you want to know about this? Here you go. This is their background. But a lot of the writers during the time started writing. So you have Salvatore, you have Dennings, like a lot of them picked up and just started writing stories in the realms, which just made it even bigger.
Right.
And when I was a kid, I just consumed those books. Like I read Homeland in a day. Like I just picked it up and then I was like, I need the next one. Where's the next one? And I read all of the Forgotten Realms. So I was on a quest to find out everything I can about this world. So it just made it bigger and bigger. Now I know that people wrote for Greyhawk, but I don't think it's as much. I think it's probably a fraction of the book.
Well, so the thing about Greyhawk is it eventually evolved to where lots of other people throughout literally the real world were adding on to it. And that's why another one of the reasons why it's not as tight and cohesive. But I would actually like to. You're probably right. I think in the long run, because Faerun was more popular, eventually it would have completely overtaken Greyhawk. Yeah. I remember the project called the Living Greyhawk, and it was basically before, like, when in the infancy of the internet, before forums existed and stuff. There were all these DMs who would get together and chat about how they were running their Greyhawk campaign, and they would try and integrate each other's ideas, and so it kept evolving. But at any rate, I'm getting off on a tangent. I think you're right. I think Faerun ultimately probably completely surpassed and supplanted it. Um, oh yeah, so very good. I guess that was the question. Druid, I think yours is next. No, actually, I like the question as is. Like, I'm curious what was the first game he ever played, is why I came up with that one. I just ruined the question. Go ahead, Druid.
Go ahead, Stormy.
Okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to answer. So
no, you're fine. You're fine. No. We're beefing in the.
Oh, okay.
You're good. So what was the first game you ever played? Was that in Greyhawk?
No.
Okay.
So the first game I remember clear as day. I was a young lad and I was playing with my friend, playing in the dirt like children are meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend's father comes out, storming out of his house, his basement. Okay, remember this is a different time, because what I'm going to say next, most people were like, "You did what?" So his father comes out and says, "What are you guys doing?" Playing. He says, "Get a couple of your friends and then come into the basement." Okay. So we walk into the basement and he has a table set up and he sits us down and starts handing out character sheets and like, "Here, you're a ranger, you're this, you're this, you're this. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons." And the first game we played was basically a variation of Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
And it was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So
right on.
They
right
was
on.
using those rules. So I got to play like Strider the Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
That was like the first character. Well, it wasn't Strider. He named it something else. I think he named it Badger. I think that was the character's name, Badger. But it was a Ranger, and I was playing Dungeons and Dragons. That was my very, very first game. Never heard of it before, but it had funny little dice, so it was great.
That's a great story. I love it. Oh man, we just ruined one of the LOL questions. Now we know his D&D origin story already. It's all right. We'll have you expound upon it more when we have you on.
I'll give names.
I can
names and locations.
We'll have more info. More info.
Yeah. I do. Back at you, Druid. I lost track of what I was going to say. I loved your answer, and thank you. All right. Havoc, please tell us about some of your favorite art projects and what is your favorite medium?
So art projects right now, calling them projects is funny, but yes, I work on different things. So currently my work in progress is I'm drawing a picture of my group from Tuesday night. So it's a bunch of the characters in a picture, and I'm just coloring it. I kind of drew out the main picture, but there's still things I'm trying to fix. So that's what I'm working on now. And it's basically like, I guess the commissions where people draw their characters. I just drew 5 of them at the same time and put them in one picture. So that's what I'm currently working on. My favorite medium is still pencil and paper. I still prefer pencil on paper, but I'm learning how to use that thing, which is a digital tablet. So,
yup. So we can watch you draw.
Yes, and we appreciate you doing it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I do it because it keeps my mind like entertained doing that, and I get to like interact. Because when we play D&D, we don't get to interact as much.
Right.
You know, it would be really bad for the game if we were spending all our time talking to the chat. So, but I feel bad sometimes because I like talking to the chat. So that's why the art stream started, so I can actually interact more with people. Which is bad though, because sometimes I get into what I'm doing and I don't realize the chat is talking. Like somebody will have to be there, like, "Yo, look up." What? Oh, yeah.
Live.
Hey.
It's beautiful. I I am thankful that I have this question because we discussed terminology before stream. So, how long have you been an artist? And do you have any formal training?
So you know how I feel about the term artist. So
well, share with them. We know, but share with them.
Yeah. So I don't like to call myself an artist. I explained this to Stormy and Druid earlier. I don't consider myself an artist. It's a hobby that I do when I draw pictures. I know real artists. Like I know people that work for Marvel. I know people that work for DC. And I don't want to get beat up by claiming that I am the same as them. Also, I have a sister that has a doctorate in art. She is an art teacher, like professor.
Wow.
Okay. Like she's had shows in museums where she has drawn portraits, like big size portraits of people with nothing but the 3 primary colors using crayon. Okay.
Wow.
So when, that is an artist, those people are artists. So what I do is a hobby that just comes out to look like pretty pictures. So I don't consider myself. Now, how long I've been doing it? About almost around the same time I played D&D, maybe a little bit before. And I honestly, because my sister, who is the talented one, who's much older than me, I asked her to show me how to draw. She's always been talented. And she said no. And I was like, what do you mean no? She's like, learn yourself. So I taught myself. And a lot of comic books. My first drawings came out of Archie comic books. So that's how far back that goes. I learned how to draw Betty and Veronica.
That's funny.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
But yeah, that's it. Just reading books and learning and teaching myself how to do it. Everything is self-taught. That's probably why I'm so bad at it.
I don't agree that you're bad at it, but yeah.
Again, I've seen people. I'm telling you, there's certain people out there. You can go on Twitch and see them. There's some amazing artists out there, and I would love to get to that level one day, but you just got to keep at it. But again, to me, it's a hobby. Now, when I was younger, I used to airbrush. I used to do t-shirts and stuff.
Ooh.
Like I used to do all kinds of airbrushing and stuff. But again, that's different kind of stuff. So Calvin Hobbes, the Peanuts, whatever, was popular at the time, we put it on t-shirts.
Yeah.
But again, I wouldn't say I'm that kind of artist. Not yet. One day. Maybe when I'm older and I have nothing else to do and I don't have to work anymore.
Beautiful. And then you could become a true artist. And I could call you an artist without you going, the cringe. I know what it's like to be surrounded by artists. My husband and my brother are also artists. So, and I get to sit there and go, I make creatures out of bones. Like, that's.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh my.
She's a little craftswoman. Craftsperson.
Is that like a squirrel or something?
It's a rat skull.
Oh, that's okay. That's more creepier. Go ahead.
I love it.
I make quaffs. I quaffed.
She quaffs. All right, Havoc. What was one of the longest D&D sessions you've ever had that was not originally supposed to be that long?
That wasn't supposed to be that long?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with I think it's 13, 14 hours.
Wow. Can you tell us about that session? What made it go on so long?
We just kept going. It was supposed to be a one shot. It was Minds of Madness. I was actually playing Rhino was in that game. And it was supposed to be a one shot. And the idea was I told him, you're going to die. I told him beforehand, you're going to die in this game. Make more than one character. And we'll just, you die, we'll put in a different character. And they wanted to finish it. So I have it recorded. I didn't stream it, but I have it recorded. So one day I would post it on, I think it's actually posted on my YouTube.
Okay.
It's on a 2-part on my YouTube. But that was probably the longest game that I didn't think was going to go that long. And it was because they were really good and it was really hard to kill them.
Mm.
So, I mean, it took longer to get rid of them. They actually almost survived. One of them almost escaped and then died on the way out. So, every now and then I got to scratch that itch where you kill your party.
I mean, if I remember correctly, that campaign module is the one where they revamped the old school Tomb of Horrors as a part of it, or am I thinking of a different one?
No, you're thinking of a different one. So, Madness and Madness was written by Chris Perkins and the guy who played Binwin Bodwa, Binwin Bronze Bottom. He was I can't remember his name, but he was part of the group that played the D&D at the PAX. They played Dungeons and Dragons at PAX. So Acquisitions Incorporated. Wow, I almost forgot the name. So they played in Acquisitions Incorporated. So he and Chris Perkins put that campaign together. It was meant to play at cons, and it was to test to see how far people can get in it. You were supposed to die in like 4 hours. So that it took me, 14 hours to kill 6, 7, 8 individuals was kind of depressing.
Wow. Well, they were, like you said, they were good. Well done.
Yeah, no, they played really well, and they pulled a lot of tactics. So, but it was a fun game. It's comical. There's a door that if you crawl through the door, you turn into a jelly. There's these little things that they design, and it's meant to be a goof. So you warn your players beforehand. Like the first thing they face at 5th level characters is a purple worm.
Jesus.
That attacks them from an outhouse.
Wow. And what was it called again? I guess I'm misunderstanding what you're saying.
The Mines of Madness.
Oh, the Mines of Madness. Okay. Mm-hmm. Is that an old school module or is that 5th ed? Oh, it's 5th ed. Oh.
It's 5th edition. It was done when they were doing D&D Next. So when they were playtesting D&D Next, it was done right around that time at the cons. I have a copy of it. I can send it to you.
Cool. Awesome.
Because they gave it away for free, so it's not a problem. I'll send you a copy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I want the Mad Mage concept. It just sounds so fun. Where you make a bunch of characters, you try to survive. It just sounds like such a fun little one shot. That seems like the only thing appropriate for a one shot, because I don't think I've ever heard anybody say, "Yeah, I managed to complete this one shot in one session in 5 hours." Like nobody ever says that. They're like, "This one shot turned into 5 sessions." Like it's just, that seems standard.
Yeah, no, my players don't even call them one shots anymore. They call them long shots.
Long shots. I love it.
My one shots tend to last sessions at a time. So
I feel that.
Fact,
I feel that.
It's kind of it's a joke I have with my Saturday group. My Saturday group is my longest current campaign, and not my longest stream. We didn't start streaming with them right away.
Mm-hmm.
I actually streamed another game instead to test out the waters. So my Saturday group was my longest running campaign, and it started as a one shot.
Wow.
It was literally supposed to be a one shot. I think we played 2 sessions, and then I couldn't get rid of them.
Yep.
They were like, so next week?
It was like, because what happened was they were really amazing group of individuals. I was like, you guys want to keep playing? I'll keep running stuff for you. And it just kept going on. Now, we have changed through some of the characters. So from the original group, there's only 1 player left. But the same story has gone on. So... and he's gone through a lot of trauma, but yes, I feel bad for him. He misses his friends, but so that would be my longest campaign. It's the same story. We just swap people out. One person will leave, we put another person in. So I think they've gone through maybe 14 people by this point, but they've also been playing for almost 4 years.
Nice.
Well, yeah, that's such a long time. That's so cool. Please share some of the most obscure bits of lore from the world of Faerun that most people might not know.
Oh, some obscure bits of lore? Oh,
yeah.
wow.
If you can just think of one, that's fine too.
Or your favorite.
That's good too, yeah.
Well, I don't know how obscure it is because it depends on people's fan base. But there is so there is a cleric called Catterley from a series of books, and in the series of books there is a couple of brothers. They're called the Boulder Shoulder Brothers. They're dwarves, And one of the dwarves is actually the first dwarven druid in Faerun. It was before dwarves were allowed to become druids in 5th edition. They made an exception for this dwarf to be a druid. And if you guys know 2nd edition, 3rd edition, that's not possible.
Yep.
So there's an obscure bit of lore. His name is Pickles Boulder Shoulder, and he has a green beard. He dyes it green, and he ties it back over his head like in a bow.
Damn, I think you just inspired a new character for Druid.
Listen.
He can't talk though. He only says one word, and he says like a couple of grunts, but his main word is doodad, which is him saying druid. It's the only thing he can say.
I love that so much. The name's great too. Because my first thought was over the shoulder boulder holder, which is another.
No.
Because that's where my brain went.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that.
So, Havoc, can you recall one of the funniest failures or fumbles you have ever seen at the gaming table? And why are you always trying to crit Rhino?
All right. So I've seen a lot of funny fumbles. I'm trying to think. Wow. There's so many. I would think this one goes back to my friend Stacy. He decided that he rolled something and he decided that there was no way out for them. They were going to die. So he strapped a barrel of Greek fire onto his back and charged into a group of raiders and blew himself up. That was probably the worst fumble I've ever seen. I was like, why would you do that? He's like, I thought we were going to die. No. So that was probably the worst one I've ever seen. There's a lot of funny ones. Like we had one the other night, but it was actually a crit. And the situation when the crit was funny. One of the players was looking for like some place to hide and make a camp, and he rolled like a 25. I was like, so the joke became, you found a cave with a door. That was actually yesterday. Yeah, that was actually yesterday.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So,
Beautiful.
I remember one of my favorites from my offline group. The player, they were pretty new level-wise. Their characters were, I think, probably level 2 or 3. Like they were really just barely starting out their adventures together, and they took on some raiders. And in the middle of the combat, one of the players fumbled, and I have this really cool percentage-based fumble table that I like to use. And I roll a percentile dice, and the higher it is, the worse the fumble is going to be. And he ended up rolling pretty high on it. Not the worst thing, but definitely high on it. And it ended up being hit self, double damage. And he cast a spell and critted his own foot and put himself to 1 life. So from then on, we called him, anytime anyone was at 1 health, we'd say, oh, he's at Varus life. Because that was the name of his character, Varus.
No.
yeah, no. And was there 2 parts to that question though? I feel like I only answered half of that.
Oh yeah. Why are you always trying to crit Rhino?
Oh yeah, because we're ignoring that part of the question. That's right. I don't try to crit Rhino. So mathematically and statistically, okay, Rhino is in like every one of my games except for most of my one-shots. So he's in all my campaigns. So he plays on Saturday, he plays in both Thursday games, and he plays in the Tuesday game. So statistically, I am going to crit him more often. It just so happens that I crit him quite a lot. And it's become a thing that he's like, I'm rolling against him, I'll crit him, like, of course. It doesn't even phase him. Well, no, I think it phases him because he's like, really?
Again? That's awesome.
But yeah, I don't try to. My dice just get warmed up, and it's whoever gets hit, somebody's gonna get hurt.
Oh no, that's so funny though. So we're winding down to the last 3 main questions of the interview. So I am just gonna preemptively just start throwing these links in chat. And while we're asking these last 3 questions, you guys can go follow him on Twitch and then go subscribe to his YouTube channel. Just get that out of the way now, so you are present for the live Q&A. Which if you just throw it in chat, I will save them. Just so y'all know. With that being said, these are like just some little fun, random, nothing crazy.
Okay.
What is the weirdest sleeping dream you've ever had that you're willing to talk about?
Sleeping dream. So I don't dream a lot. So that's one. I used to have nightmares, like bad nightmares when I was younger. So at one point I started reading books on like managing your dreams, and ever since then I really don't have them. Also, it's probably why I stay up a lot, so I only sleep for like a few hours at a time. Anyway, the most memorable, like worst one was I was laying in bed and I watched like a person walk through the room. Like my ex had gotten up to walk out of the room, and I watched like a shadow walk out of the room behind them, and then like I could hear the bad things happening in the other room. That's like probably the most memorable dream I've ever had.
Wow.
Wow.
That's terrifying.
Yes. And that was probably like the last one I had. That was when I was like, yep, that's not going to happen again.
Yep.
So,
yep. Fixing that.
Thank you for sharing that spookiness. It's perfect for Halloween month.
Yeah, there you go. See, I'm telling scary stories for you. Starting off the month right.
Scary stories for October.
The next one is, if you could be any superhero, which one would you choose?
Wolverine.
And why? Well, wow, he just snapped. Already knows.
Wolverine.
And why?
I was a Wolverine fan ever since I first read the comic with him. Like I used to read comics. I remember my first comic. It was like G.I. Joe, like 26. And I started reading, and I picked up an X-Men comic, and it was after Wolverine was in it, and I was like, this dude is amazing. And it's just, he wasn't the typical hero. He was like, to me, he was like the anti-hero, because he was before everybody else became an anti-hero. And just the fact that he was good at what he did and he didn't care. And I was like, yep, I like him. So the healing factor is nice too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was always my favorite. In fact, like he was the ones that helped. His comics were part of the reason I wanted to get better. So like one of my favorite pieces is hanging on the wall. It's a picture of Wolverine.
Nice.
I'll have to scrounge up. My brother did a really cool painting of Wolverine.
Oh.
I painted him on my wall when I was a kid, living at home with my mother, and so it was a full-size mural, and it was the cover of a comic. So it's the comic where he's slashing through the comic book cover, and I did that full size on my wall, and I remember it freaked my mom out because she didn't notice it right away. Like, and one day she walked into my room and she basically like had a panic attack at the doorway. I'm like, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" She's like, "Why is there a devil on your wall?" I was like, "What? It's Wolverine." She's like, "I don't care who it is. It's a devil." So yeah.
The inconvenienced hero. I love that. All right. So last and final question. This is one of those questions that if you pick one, the other one disappears.
From reality.
Oh, I've heard these before. Yeah. Okay.
Filled donuts or donut holes?
What's the full donuts? Like the
Filled,
ones with
like the jelly filled donuts.
Yeah.
okay.
Filled
It doesn't
donuts
have to
or
be jelly
donuts
though.
with
I
holes?
have like
Custard. Any kind of filled donuts.
We'll keep those. We'll get rid of the donut holes.
Okay. Interesting.
I like Boston cream donuts.
Ah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
That's like that's the where it's like custard filled with chocolate on top, right?
Yeah. And they don't make those in donut holes though.
All right, this is the portion of the stream where everyone goes, and just like she said before, make sure you drop a follow and give him all the subs and biddies and help keep him going and doing what he loves for all of us on Twitch here. And looks like we already have some interesting questions to ask. I'm going to start off with this one, and that's, what's the craziest character you've ever had to DM for? I want to nuance this question. It's a two-parter. The craziest character as in the character they created, and or the craziest character as in the player was a crazy character.
All right. So currently, it's an easy answer. It's Biff. If you guys have met Main Cow, she's a streamer as well. So she's one of my players on Saturday night. She plays a character named Biff, who's a goblin bard, and she smells like beef. She smells like cooked beef, but she just adds a level of chaos to the game that is so perfect for her character. And then we realized that's not her role playing; that's her. I was like, oh. So, as far as currently, she was probably the craziest. But if all time, it goes to my friend. You got to put them together. It was the Battle Rager brothers. So my friend Troy and my friend Eric, they played a couple of Battle Ragers from 2nd edition, and they were insane. So if you've read about a Battle Rager, most common Battle Rager is Quint from, Salvatore. They made him look tame.
Wow.
And they were insane, and they played off each other at the table, but they would do the craziest things. And it was like, you're going to do what? Because I'm going to tie a rope around him and throw him off the cliff. It's 300-foot drop. There's only 50 foot of rope. We'll snag on something. Don't worry. And then they would both jump. So, yeah, they were the craziest.
That's amazing.
Like I spent half the time as a DM trying to keep them alive.
Well, they're just like, I'm going to yeet myself off this cliff here.
And then, and they would make any other player that played in the game who was an elf, they were a pet. So, and they picked that up from the book because Battle Rager's pet elf, it came straight out of the book. But yeah, so the other players in the party were pet elves. Like, but they were fun. They were hilarious.
That's amazing. I'm going to switch it up on streaming. I'm going to ask a Razbataz question.
Mm-hmm.
Razbataz asks, you answered this in chat, I saw you, but we're going to say this out loud.
You know what? I did it, and then I realized, I should probably wait. Yeah.
That's okay.
That's all right.
That's okay. I was going to tease you about it in this very moment, and that's okay.
Yep. We're embracing the chaos, right, Druid?
Absolutely. Run with the chaos. Razwataz asks, have you ever played Birthright?
I played in Birthright. My friend Eric Means DM'd it, and it was fun. I liked... Now, if I'm thinking of the right thing, because I played a lot of games, I believe Birthright is it's very Renaissance. And I liked it because I got to play like a musketeer. So, and it kind of, it, like I said, loud, boisterous, it fit. So, but it didn't last long. I think we played for maybe 6 months or so. Eric was one of those DMs that every time something new came out, he wanted to try it. So, like, oh, look, we're going to play this now. Okay, fine.
All right, fine, I guess.
All right, well, choice. You're the DM.
Raz also asks, what are your... I like this question. What are your thoughts on the Scarlet Brotherhood?
So, I'm not sure... The Scarlet Brotherhood, isn't that from Greyhawk?
It is. Yeah, it's the secretive evil monk cult, basically.
I like the idea, and I could probably use it in my current campaign, but I don't really know a lot about them. Ask me about the Fire Knights. I know about them.
Is that
I have a question that sort of tickles a little bit off of this. Have you? I know, obviously, you've played tons of Faerun actual D&D. Do you ever play CRPGs? Like, if you played any of the old school You know,
The SSI games, all of them.
me too.
I still have them.
Nice. Yes, I
Yes, I
love the
still have
Gold
all of
Box
them.
series. They were so good.
Yeah, I have the original gold boxes and the three was it the 5-inch floppies or whatever they were? No, they were 3.5.
3.5
I don't
inch.
remember.
Sometimes
Yeah,
it
they
was
were three
five
and
and
a
a
half.
quarter, but yeah.
It depends on how far back you go. I
Right.
still have the original gold boxes, but I re-got them on Steam. They did a release, so I bought them all again so I could play them again because you can't use the 3.5s. And I recently played the Dragonlance one
Right on.
just to play it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have played almost every one I can get my hands on. In fact, like Baldur's Gate 3 when it was in early access, I literally played that game so much I found every item you could find. Like I was posting them on the thing, going, "Hey, nobody mentioned this one yet. I found this here and here." So
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah,
That's
it
awesome.
was
Yeah, I
yeah.
love.
And then they released it, and I played it, and I like. So I like to play games to the end, and once I finish the game, it's really hard for me to go back and play it again unless a long time has passed.
Same
So
here.
when Baldur's Gate 3 came out, I played it and I finished it, and then I was like, all right, I haven't touched it since.
Same.
I need to play it again though. They've made so many changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially now that it's just like the mod section is just right there. And if you have friends that you're playing with and you guys download the same mods, you can play it together modded.
I got to go back and play it. But yeah, I tend to play games. Rhino and me, like, we'll play games and finish them in a few days, and then everybody else starts playing, and we're like, we're done.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm just catching up on the RimWorld hype.
So,
I love it. I love finding out that you've played. I mean, not a lot of people know about the Gold Box SSI series stuff. Those were so good. Like some of them were fantastic. Yeah. I'm with you.
I mean, when you were young and you couldn't find people to play D&D, that was the only way you were going to play.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. Or you just waited until you found somebody you could play D&D with.
See, that was the best thing about becoming a DM, though. So, players have a hard time finding DMs. DMs don't have that hard a time finding players.
That's true. It's true.
That is
especially
true.
now online. Oh my gosh! Depends on where you live. So I grew up in the Bronx. I didn't have that many friends that played Dungeons and Dragons, and at one point, so when my friend Anthony and his dad showed us how to play, the whole neighborhood played. Every kid on that block played Dungeons and Dragons. And then I moved. And then I moved to like Castle Hill area, which is a lot, not as nice. But my grandparents owned the house there. So we ended up moving next to my grandparents and nobody played. You know what it is to try to teach some kids from the hood, like, hey, I'm going to play Dungeons and Dragons. It's like, what is that? I was like, never mind.
Requires imagination and friendship.
I was like, come on, you got to learn. So I didn't get to play again until I was in high school. So,
I'm just happy I get to play now.
I think everyone should play.
Yes. So my brother's autistic, but he's like has like such a big imagination. He loves comic books, and I was literally just talking to him this morning. Like, I think you would have a lot of fun playing D&D. Like, if I was able to sit there and help him with his character sheet and roll dice and stuff, I think he would do a fantastic job. So, little side mission, Stormy. That's something we got to talk about.
I was going to say, send him my way. I'll help him build a character.
Yeah.
I love teaching people how to play.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, I think we got to make this thing happen. Use up that imagination. No, you don't, Red and Cosmic Horror. I already know. Inside joke. But I'm gonna ask it eventually. Don't worry.
Try not to answer anything else. I'm not looking at the chat anymore. I'm lying. I keep looking over there.
I see you turn and look at it, and I'm like, Is he gonna type in chat? Do I see his hands moving to the keyboard?
No, I'm
What the
holding stuff now, so I won't.
You'll see me try to stop myself from. Fun fact about me: every time you see me, just like pick up and drink my waters to keep me from talking.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Not-
one of the reasons why I drink so much liquids during Bandwidth and Banter. It's to keep me from talking.
Got it.
Yeah. Razmataz asks, what game system would you like to play that you've never played before?
That I never played. So there's one that I heard was fairly decent. I have never played it. It's called Monsters and Masterminds, I think it's called. I'm not even sure of the name, but it was one that I was like, I might want to try that one. Like, give that a shot. I've played most of the others. Like, I played Vampire, Werewolf, I've played GURPS, I've played Gamma World, I've played the original, like, superheroes
You
games.
played Gamma World? That's so few people I meet that have tried Gamma World. I loved Gamma World way back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, we tried. Yeah, it was way back in the day. We tried everything. Like, we went to the gaming store and they'd be like, "Here, try this here," and they would give us the books and we would try them. So, the only one I will not play, you can't make me play, is Pathfinder.
Interesting.
Mutants and Masterminds. That's it. Thanks, Raz. I always want to call him Roz because I have a player named Roz, and it's R-A-Z. So when I see it, I say that one. So sorry, Raz. It's a pronunciation thing.
So wait, back up a sec. Why is it you never want to play? What did you say?
Pathfinder?
Yeah, Pathfinder. Since it's basically just 3.5 Redux.
That's why I won't play it, because it's 3.5. Why would I go to a secondary person that produced the game when I can play the original?
I can see that. Yeah, I see that point. Yeah.
So I don't like the whole dynamic that happened between the printers and the WotC. I know there was issues and like wrong on both sides, but again, I've played Dungeons and Dragons since it was TSR. I mean, I've played Chainmail. Come on. So I just can't make the switch for that.
I understand. I do. Ratatash. Oh no, that was. Yeah, never mind. Oh no, this is the right question. Yeah. Do you have an NPC or a magic item that you haven't been able to use yet but really want to?
As an NPC, yes, I have Rook in one of the campaigns, basically sitting in the background. So I'm dying to use him. Now I told you my PCs tend to be NPCs,
right?
So he's all fleshed out, we're all ready to go, but they haven't met him yet. So I'm dying for that to happen. As far as a magic item, so as me using as a player, I've used everything. I've played the longest amount of time. But as far as giving to my players, yes, I have a magic item that I'm dying for one of my players to pick up because of the consequences that are going to follow it around.
Cursed object?
It's not cursed. It's just it comes with complications.
Fair enough. So what question do you have, or do you know what he wants to ask?
I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. Random Cosmic Horror wants to know, are you a part of the Barefoot gang? Do you like to be barefoot, or do you like to wear, are you like a wear shoes in the house kind of person?
Oh no, I'm in socks right now. Like, I mean, socks count?
No, she's talking barefoot or not, basically.
Barefoot, or are your feet covered?
Oh, so like in the house now, I wear socks. I walk around in socks, but also anybody who visits me knows my house is cold. So in the winter, the window's open and the heat rarely gets turned on. So yes, socks. But I used to go, like, I'll go stand on, when I lived in the house, I used to go stand outside in the front. I'd always be barefoot. I don't like putting on shoes if I don't have to.
Yep. So you are spiritually a part of Barefoot Gang. It's just that socks for cold days.
Yes.
So don't shun the non-believer. Don't shun him. Random
outside, I'd rather be barefoot.
Yeah. I love being barefoot. That's why Random Cosmic Horror asks every person he can ask. No. The void has been appeased. Okay. Sorry, it's a little bit of a long-winded inside joke, but it makes me very happy.
As long as you're happy.
This one?
So, yeah, we need to be careful because I don't want to spoil too much from when we do. Okay. Tell us something about, like, I know you do D&D and your art streams. Have you ever streamed anything else? Have you ever played any video games on stream? Do you even play any video games besides the CRPGs we've talked about?
No, I play all kinds of games. So survival games is a big thing. Like right now I'm playing Satisfactory and I'm trying to finish off tier 9. I tend to play games until they're like, I like to finish games. So the tier 9 is the last tier because they released it at one point. So I'm really into Satisfactory. But I'll play like just about anything. No, I don't want to say that. I'll play a lot of games. There's ones I'll look at and go, not interested. So I like RPGs. I like strategy games, like Manor I finished Manor recently. I like that one. We played like The Forest, Sons of the Forest. We finished those. Enshrouded. So we play like all kinds of games. On stream, I tend to play, when I play with other people, mostly my daughter. So if you look at my streams, like me and my daughter just play Don't Starve together. Because my daughter wanted to play Don't Starve, and she's like, play with me. Okay. Can we play on stream? Sure. So now she just webbed me. I refused. Everybody has asked me to play. I refuse to play. Everybody's like, play Stardew. I'm like, I'm not playing this stupid game. I'm not playing it. Stop it. I'm not playing that game. My daughter turned around and said, Dad, play Stardew with me. So now I'm the proud owner of Stardew. Thank you. So I'll probably be playing that on stream one day.
I knew you would give up. Isn't it amazing how your daughter can get you to do almost anything?
Oh, she got me wrapped around her finger and she knows it. So I'll probably be playing Stardew. But yeah, I'll play whatever everybody's playing. I mean, it depends. Like there's certain games, like there was a game recently that everybody was playing. It's the one that with the parasols and the guns, and it was kind of like Enshrouded, but a different game.
I was playing it with BT. It's still in early access right now, and I'm just totally blanking on what it's called, even though
Right. I don't remember the name of it either, but like a bunch of my friends would play Nightingale. That's it, Nightingale.
There we go.
A bunch of my friends were playing that, and I remember they were like, "Oh, you're gonna come play?" And I put it on my wish list, and then I saw the video with the parasol and like the clothing. I was like, "Nah, I'm not playing."
Because it's funky.
That was it. It just turned me off. I was like, "Nah, I'm not playing that." I'll take a pass.
I mean, BT and I were playing it. I'm gonna wait till it's done out of early access, I think, before I pick it back up again. It was all right. Sons of the Forest was way more fun, I think, because it was a little bit more chaotic.
Yeah, Sons was all right. We finished Sons fairly quickly. I like their first one better, I think.
Yeah.
Like mechanically. So I like the story in the first one better. Mechanically, I think the second one was better. Like they gave you more stuff.
That's usually the way it goes with games and sequels, right? Like they improve upon the mechanics of the first game for the second game, but it's hard to capture that magic of the story of the first game, especially when it's something that's new and unique. That's interesting. I mean, it's not always the case, but frequently, I would say.
I'm not sure. So I'm just watching chat. Cheerful. I don't know what you're asking me, Cheerful. Sorry. Oh, she's probably talking about Stardew. Yes, I own it. And the cat thing is because they named me the cat in the game because I refused to play. So the cat's name in their group game is Havoc. Yeah.
All right, there's a question. Is it my turn or your turn, Druid?
Go for it.
Cheerful asks, what's your favorite color?
Red.
I could have guessed.
Red. I mean, I used to say black a lot, but then it was like either black is the absence or a combination of all colors, depending on how you're going with it.
Right.
And honestly, red is usually there with it. So red.
Yep. I could see that.
Yeah, so that is interesting that you bring that up. I always love talking about that. You know, in the visible light spectrum of the universe, black is the absence of all colors. But for painters, for artists like yourself and me when I was younger, the only way to make black is to mix lots of colors together. and it's so no color is truly black, just a very dark version of a bunch of colors or a single color. Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on how you look at it. So
Mhm.
it just became easier to say red.
Yeah, right.
Because people
Red's
always
good.
have opinions when we just want to have our favorite color be black and chill.
Right. So.
Don't rain on my parade.
Don't take this from me. It's
Right.
mine. Leave it.
And it's literally the opposite for with white, right? So in the visible light spectrum, white is the mixture of all 7 colors. But in paint, to get to white, you have to keep taking color and pigment away.
Just depends on the theory. I know this was a comment by Razmataz, but I do want to just ask, like, what hold on, I have to figure out how to word this.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
So when you crit your like when you crit on your players,
Yes.
okay, so first off, what's satisfying about it?
Me critting on them, nothing.
It's just a meme. It's just a meme that a lot of players, because like I know that Stormy like sometimes maybe in certain situations, but like it's just like in most others because he doesn't want us to die. But like,
wait, go ahead, finish, and then
I'm not sure how to word the question, and I should have waited. But go ahead with what you were gonna say.
So you guys got to see into the mind of Druid when she and I are putting these questions together. This happens from time to time.
Oh, it's like,
what did you want to ask?
Exactly.
I have to conception.
I have to pull out what the hell she's thinking and craft it into a question.
Yeah.
If that's all she gives you, oh, that's great. You're amazing, bro. Because I just got. Well, I have a question, but like, how you shape that into anything? Bravo.
Thank you.
So
this is what happens when you don't think in words. I think in like
pictures
and vague feelings and like whispers of words.
No, okay. Yeah. All right, you put that jumble together.
Yeah, we'll move on. Runtash has a great question.
What's up?
Do you have a favorite gaming snack?
So I used to like pistachios, but I think I ate so many of them that they started burning the back of my throat, so I haven't eaten them in months. Yeah, my Rhino says it's because of the shell that I don't shell them enough. Take off the skin. But yeah, pistachios used to be my favorite gaming snack. But I don't care. I'll eat just about anything on stream. I've eaten carrots. I've had one of my DMs at the time when I was playing Rook. She's like, "Are you sitting there eating a carrot?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, just like a carrot. Yeah. Like, what's wrong with that? But yeah, straight. I'll eat food. Like, my daughter will serve me food while we're playing. I'm like, thanks. So yeah, I've learned to eat like this.
All right. Last question, I think, because I think we've covered all the questions, but I came up with one more that's a perfect one to wrap the interview. So everyone, before I ask this question, make sure you go support him. Go to his links. He's a tasty RPG snack himself. So you gotta support. I knew she would like.
I've never been called that one before, and I'm gonna put it in my tag now.
Tasty snack.
So now I totally forgot my question. God dang it. Yes, can you share with us the first time you DM'd with your daughter?
So Yes, I can. So the first time I DM'd with my daughter was for my Saturday game.
Mm-hmm.
She. Wait, I want to make sure that we didn't play before that. All right, no, it was. So for my Saturday game, she joined the game as a young rogue, and she died the first night.
Oh no.
Yes, so she came to the game, and the wizard Gimbal told her, "Don't touch that," and she touched something she wasn't supposed to, and basically it was a bunch of animated swords around the room. So she touched the trigger, and all the swords attacked, and she died. And I'm gonna say to them, like, I don't go to kill my players. I want to make that clear. I don't try to, but I am going to challenge them. And if they do stuff, the dice fall how they fall. So she died. So they spent the first game with her basically trying to get her a res.
Oh wow.
That was her first session. And I was like, yeah, right? She's like, yeah, it was fun. I had fun. I said, what'd you learn? She's like, whatever Gimbal tells you to do, do. And to this day, she still follows that rule.
That's great.
She's like, if Gimbal tells you not to touch it, don't touch it. I'm like, okay, you learned something.
Oh.
But yeah, that was my first session with her. Before that, we played Munchkins. So that's why I was like, wait, did we play before? We played the game Munchkins. So that was like the first like kind of D&D thing.
Right, I gotcha.
I fixed it.
Yeah, you did. It was my mistake. My mistakeal. I don't know why I typoed that. But for everyone, thank you, Drew, for fixing it. I apologize. I'm the one who typed your thing, and I didn't remember that there was an underscore between the Havoc and the RPG. So, but we got it fixed in chat. So everyone go to his actual link so you can drop a follow.
Honestly, because normally I'm the one that puts the links in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I appreciate it, and like I said, you guys come just want to watch. We try to entertain you. Actually, we play D&D. It just happens to be entertaining. Like that's one of the things. I don't try to. Like I like streaming and I like the interaction, but I'm playing D&D. We just happen to be streaming it. I tend to focus more on the game. Not that I don't love any of you that are there. We love all of you that come and watch, and we appreciate the support. But I am, trying to run a D&D game.
Yeah,
we totally get it. The same thing for my Saturday stream. 100%.
Yep.
I get you.
We have to go completely chat dark
for that one, and a little bit me.
So you'll see me. I'll wave at the chat, or I'll try to, but I can't do too many things at once. I already have enough things going on. So if I start talking in chat, everybody just stops what they're doing. So I'm sorry. So I'm the DM. So if I stop talking, they don't have anything to do.
If Stormy stops talking, I take over. So because I'm like, all right, I'm gonna RP with somebody. Who's my victim today?
Havoc, it's been an honor and a treat. Everyone go support him. And don't forget, he's very good friends with Lady Magdala, who we've had on Bandwidth and Banter before, and she plays in his D&D stream as well. So just amazing human beings. And it's been super cool to get to know you, Havoc, and like I was saying, spoiler alert, guys, we're going to be inviting him to be on Legacy of Lore Masters if he wants to and can be in the future, because he's just the perfect kind of person to talk to about their DM style. So,
well, thank you. It's been a pleasure and an honor, and I really appreciate you guys inviting me here and getting to meet your community. So I appreciate that, and thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Thanks, brother.
Go follow my big bro, okay, guys?
Oh, Druid. Always the bittersweet. We have such a good time. That's the sweet, and the bitter is it has to end at some point, because people have lives and food, need food and stuff like that. But man,
it is the fastest hour and a half of my life.
I know, and it goes by so quick. It's crazy. Havoc is amazing. I totally see why his players love him and stick with him. And, you get, I love that he's also an artist, because it shows that he truly has the kind of imagination that's more than just active, right? It's actively active, right? And we need more people like him. So everyone, please go support And thank you guys for supporting the show and coming and watching us every Friday.
Yeah. Wild.
Speaking of,
except next Friday.
right, not next Friday. So Druid and Fate will be on vacation next week, starting on Thursday. Is that right? You'll be gone?
Yeah, starting on the 10th. So it will be completely unavailable from the 10th to 15th.
Right. So I'll still be streaming my regular streams except for the D&D stream, and of course not Bandwidth and Banter. So, but don't forget to, we still have D&D tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon, and then, but there won't be B&B or D&D the following weekend. But thank you all for supporting. And
I'll be posting up reminders. So.
And don't forget to go check out, if you haven't, go to the YouTube channel and check out our Stormkeep Crier, because it's so much fun.
I will say, since we won't be streaming our D&D next Saturday, Havoc RPG streams on Saturdays. So if you need D&D on Saturday, just go hang out with him.
Well, I think Havoc streams in the evening on Saturdays too, because we've raided into him before. So, when we are streaming and when he's you get a whole day of D&D if you want.
Yeah. So if you need your D&D fix on a Saturday,
yes,
go over to Havoc. So
100%. All right.
Perfect plug. That was so good. Pat myself on the back.
Thank you guys. You ready to wrap this up there, Druid?
Yup.
Okay, here we go. Thanks for coming to the show.
Please drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below.
And if you're listening to the podcast,
please rate and review the episode.
We are Bandwidth
and Banter.
Thank you.
And good night.